This story began long before Hercules, when many evil titans roamed the earth. There is chaos all around, but Zeus appeared and imprisoned all the titans. And having saved the world, he became the king among all the gods on Olympus. Zeus and his wife Hera had a wonderful son named Hercules. The boy was incredibly strong, just like his father. In honor of the birth of Hercules, a party was held on Olympus. All the gods were invited so that everyone could rejoice for Zeus and Hera. Many gifts were brought for Hercules, and Zeus himself created a horse with Pegasus wings from the clouds, which then became real. Hercules and Pegasus immediately became friends. Around Hercules' neck was a gold medal with the sign of the gods and his name. Suddenly, Hades came, who was the ruler of the kingdom of the dead under the earth. He saw the son of Zeus and left, lying that he could not stay any longer because of his work. Hades returned to the realm of the dead, where the demons Pain and Panic were, who served Hades. Hades was visited by the Moira, who decided people's destinies and could see the future. Hades asked them to find out if Hercules would stand in the way of his plans. The Moiras agreed, but not immediately, because they liked the flattery of Hades. The Moiras saw the future with the help of their eyes. When all the planets lined up, Hades in his desire to seize Olympus released the Titans. Zeus fell. Everything could have continued like that, but Hercules was the one who could interfere. Moiras disappeared. Hades, realizing that he wanted to rule Olympus at any cost, conspiratorially asked Pain and Panic if they knew how to kill the gods. They only answered that no way, because the gods are immortal. It was the right answer, but there was still a way. To kill the gods, it was necessary to make them mortal, and Hades had such a potion. Hades ordered Pain and Panic to make Hercules mortal. Night came. Pain and Panic flew to Olympus and kidnapped the child. Zeus and Hera heard the cry, but when they came to check, Hercules was no longer there. Pain and Panic descended to earth and began to drink Hercules with these potions, just as the color of the child's skin became human. The potion worked, but the main thing was that Hercules drank every drop. Pain and Panic heard a rustle and got scared. Hercules seemed to drink everything. The bottle broke and one small drop dripped out, which immediately evaporated. People came out: the man Amphitryon and his wife. The woman saw the child and grabbed her in her arms, snuggling her close to her. She said that this is a sign, this is a gift from the gods, because before that they were constantly praying for a child. Pain and Panic wanted to finish off Hercules, because that was the main task, so they turned into snakes and tried to attack the couple and Hercules. But Hercules, as if it did not cost him any strength, grabbed the snakes, twisted them and threw them somewhere in the air. Pain and Panic realized that they had failed the order and Hades would be angry if he found out. Hercules grew up. He still had a part of the power of the gods in him, because he did not drink all the potion then. People avoided him because of his superhuman strength, because he did not understand it. Being with his father in the market, he wanted to catch the disc, but instead he shook the columns with his power. The columns fell. People began to shout that Hercules was a freak and a potential danger to society. Amphitryon and his wife on the same day approached Hercules, showed him the gold medal, which was found then together with Hercules. Hercules thanked his parents for taking care of him and determined to go to the temple of Zeus to pray and find answers to all his questions. Hercules reached the temple, fell on his knees and began to pray. He wanted to find the answer and the whole truth about who he was and who his parents were. Suddenly the huge statue of Zeus came to life. Zeus at the same second raised Hercules in his giant palm and began to tell that Zeus is his father, that in fact they were looking for him and even found him, but Hercules could not return to Olympus, because he was mortal, and Olympus is a place only for immortals. Zeus says that despite this, Hercules is a god. Zeus said that in order to return to Olympus, Hercules had to become a hero, and for this Hercules had to find Philoctetes, who was the teacher of heroes. Zeus called Pegasus, who had already grown up, to help Hercules. Hercules on Pegasus flew to a place where they saw Philoctetes, who was a satyr. He watched the nymphs. Hercules told that he wanted to become a hero, it was his dream. Philoctetes said that he is already retired and does not train anyone, because everyone he trained died stupidly, for example, Odysseus, Theseus, Achilles. Philoctetes shared that he also dreamed of teaching someone who could become a true hero. Hercules said that his father was Zeus, but Phil laughed at him. He was struck by lightning, and then the satyr believed that his father was Zeus. Philoctetes began to teach Hercules. Over time, he was able to change his physique, became more mature. Hercules set out with Phil on an adventure to Thebes to do something to truly become a hero when a woman's cry was heard. Someone was in trouble. There was a girl who was attacked by a centaur. Hercules climbed up to free her. The battle with the centaur began. When Hercules defeated him, Phil began to tell him that it was better to blow each move further and not rush into the fight right away. But Hercules ignored it and went to the girl. Her name was Megara. Her friends called her Meg, even though she had no friends. Hercules and Phil flew further, and Meg, in turn, went further into the forest. There she met Pain, Panic, and Hades himself. Hades began to say that how did it happen to the centaur, because Meg had to persuade the centaur to side with Hades. She said that she did not succeed because of Hercules. Hades was angry because Hercules was the only one who interfered with him. Hades ordered Meg, Pain, and Panic to fix everything. Hercules and Hades flew to Thebes, a city where something was wrong everywhere. Phil began to quarrel with one person because they reminded him of Achilles. Suddenly, Meg came and started calling Hercules because there was a landslide near the city and 2 children were trapped. Hercules saved the children. The crowd applauded. The children ran around the corner and there was Hades. Children turned into Pain and Panic. A giant hydra climbed out of the cave. She tried to eat Hercules, but he cut off her head. Everyone thought it was a victory, but instead of 1 head, 3 more came out, and then more than a dozen. Hercules hit the rock and the hydra was suddenly overwhelmed by the stones. Hercules defeated the hydra. From that day on, he became popular among the people, defeating one monster after another. For people, he became a hero. Statues were erected in his honor. There were coins with his face, toys, and other things. Hades was still trying to think of a way to remove Hercules from the playing field. Meg said Hades lost. Hades reminded her that Meg sold him her soul in exchange for Hades saving her lover, but the lover left her and dozed off to another. Hades offered Meg freedom if she would seduce Hercules and keep him out of Hades' way. Hercules was talking to the statue of Zeus. Zeus said that Hercules had not yet become a hero to return to Olympus. He had only a little to do, but the feat that he had to do, Hercules himself had to understand. Hercules was in his palace. Meg made her way there, who offered to escape from Phil for one evening and spend it with her. Hercules agreed. They wandered through some garden while Meg tried to find out about his weaknesses. She asked if there were any problems with the bones, discs, etc. But Hercules was healthy. They got up and looked at the sky together. A star fell. Hercules admitted that as a child he dreamed of becoming an ordinary boy like everyone else. Meg lost all mood, because all people were petty. Hercules said that Meg is an amazing person. But the girl herself said that people only hurt each other. Hercules promised that he would never hurt her, but Meg replied that she might hurt him and so they should stop. And when they were about to kiss, Phil flew in and took Hercules away, because he had run away. While they were flying, Phil fell, hit his head and passed out. Meg stayed there and began to realize that she had fallen in love with Hercules despite her bad experiences. But suddenly Hades appeared. She wanted to stop working for Hades, but he is her master. She had no way out. Phil woke up and immediately began eavesdropping on Hades and Meg's conversation. The Pegasus saw another Pegasus, only a woman, but it turned out to be the devil's Pain and Panic. Phil wanted to warn that Meg was literally working for the enemy, but Hercules didn't want to hear it. Phil walked away. Hades appeared before Hercules this time. Hades began to say that Hercules was interfering with him. Once he showed Meg for a few seconds and manipulated Hercules. Hercules, in order to protect Meg, remained in his strength for 1 day. Hercules became an ordinary man. Hades promised that Meg would not be harmed. The planets became in one line. Hades freed the Titans. The Titans were going to destroy Zeus. Olympus began to prepare to fight the Titans. Hades watched everything with interest. Another Titan came to Thebes to kill Hercules. But Hercules became ordinary and could not do anything. Meg found Pegasus and freed him to search for Phil. Meg found Phil so that he could do something about Hercules. Hercules defeated the Titan. The column began to fall on Hercules, but Meg pushed him away and got hurt herself. The strength of Hercules returned to him because Hades did not keep his word. Meg confessed her love to Hercules. Hades imprisoned the gods. Hercules flew to save Olympus. Zeus beat the Titans together with his son. At that time, Moira, the goddess of fate, cut the threads of Meg's fate. Meg died. Hercules sat with her body in his arms. Hercules was going to bring Meg back from the underworld. Hercules jumped into the lake of death and began to search for Meg's soul. The Moira were about to cut the thread of Hercules' fate, but Hercules became a god and survived by saving Hades and then threw Hades into the lake with the dead. Meg and Hercules returned to Olympus. Meg was standing at the gate, but was about to leave. However, Hercules wanted to stay with Meg and he did. Together they returned to Earth. Write in the comments if you liked the story about this cartoon. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to watch even more interesting cartoons with me. See you later, friends.